If I had to sum up today's entire video in a single word, it would be interesting. I opened Google earlier, as I so often do when I create these videos, but this time, instead of typing out the usual suspects, some sort of internet scam or embattled celebrity, I decided to type my name to see what people were looking for. And the results were very interesting indeed. So I figured, you know what? Why not answer the web's most asked questions? It's like one of those Wired autocomplete interviews, except the questions have not been handpicked by Wired or my team. They're actually things that people are Googling. I don't even have a team, which is probably why I'm not famous enough to be on actual Wired, but nevertheless, here we are. But first, welcome. My name is DAngelo, and I am your professor of preemptive postmortems, which is a very real degree that I definitely do have. Or maybe this is just me broadcasting myself talking in my room like YouTube used to be. And today's lecture is a matter of pure self-indulgence. Yes, I am quite literally just some dude, but at the same time, apparently people want to know everything from my pronouns to my backstory. So let's see if we can't answer some questions, clear up some confusion, and get through this without things getting a little too weird. Because actually, there is probably a reason Wired picks the questions beforehand. So one thing to point out is that if you start Googling my name, you might actually get different autocomplete results based off your search history. So to mitigate that, I have signed out of Google. This is basically now just the Wild West. I have no idea what's going to pop up. So we'll just start by putting my name, DAngelo Wallace. All right, so first up, we've got DAngelo Wallace pronouns. My pronouns are me, myself, and I, baby. Like, honestly, I don't even feel like I can be contained in a pronoun. However, I do have to be perceived and referred to. Boo. So I just stick with he, him. All right, next we've got DAngelo Wallace Reddit. I guess this is because people want to see what people are saying about me on Reddit. Oh, first result. DAngelo Wallace is a pretentious, condescending... Well, that's just not very nice. Well, this person deleted their post, so now I can't even really respond to it. But based off of the remaining comments, it seemed like they were calling me egotistical, morally superior, condescending. Yeah, for as long as I have created videos, I have been hit with the condescending allegations. Let's see, I also frequently get called vain, big-headed, self-centered. But the funny thing is, people have very rarely been able to call me wrong. And as far as the self-aggrandizement, why is he constantly referring to his own beauty? Why does he act like he's the greatest to ever do it? Because I am. I find it funny that me doing something as simple as looking at the monitor and saying, wow, I look really good in this lighting, has consistently annoyed a subgroup of viewers for like years at this point. But I think it stems from this assumption that I think I'm better than other people. But I truly believe we should all be so dramatic. I wish more people would actually say, hey, this is my thing that I do, and I worked really hard on it, and I'm good at it. Hey, this is an objective quality about myself that I really like. When I started off on the internet, I feel like the trend was very much self-deprecation. People literally making videos like, oh my God, I'm so ugly. Wow, sorry guys, this video is so bad. Why are you guys even watching this? Like, y'all, the self-deprecation was bad. And so my approach to YouTube has always been create what you want to see. I want to see people being amazing. I want to see them being ridiculous and over the top. I don't want to see people calling themselves ugly. I want to see the best you have ever looked. And so that is why I enter every video thinking, this is the best I have ever looked, and I'm gonna make a darn good video while I'm doing it. So no, it's not that I have a God complex. I just think the world would be better if everybody in it was exactly like me. Okay, so I went back to the search results for DAngelo Wallace Reddit, and in the related searches, we have DAngelo Wallace wife. I am married to the game. Honestly, I could see myself starting a family, but maybe not at age 26. A lot of people do it, and it works out for them. I don't want to be one of them. I can barely trust myself to run my own affairs at this point. So the thought of me being responsible for other living human beings is terrifying. Now, of course, I could just get married and not have kids, but I just feel like when the time comes, I will know. All right, so we've got DAngelo Wallace age. Either I am 26 years old or my parents have some explaining to do. I feel 26. You know what I mean? Like, when I turned 21, I didn't really feel 21, but I don't know, man. I turned 26 and I feel 26. Does that make sense? I actually feel like lately I've been having a quarter life crisis, which on the one hand is utterly ridiculous, I know. But at the same time, is it ridiculous to feel feelings? I mean, I really do feel like it. I kind of want to make a video about it. I feel like it would be an interesting discussion, but I'm still researching. Also, the fact that I am having a quarter life crisis, and my first thought was I should research this is insane, but that's how my brain works. DAngelo Wallace College. All right, Google has this one right as well. I did in fact go to Our Lady of the Lake University. Honestly, when I think back about my college days, it doesn't even feel real. Like, This building doesn't even look real, but this is where I was. Our Lady of the Lake, or Olu, is this tiny little fairy tale university in San Antonio, Texas. And it was mostly a good experience. I met a lot of great people there, while also having a separate crisis over my identity and who I was and what I represented and how I would move forward. But that's college, baby. Hey, look, here's a picture of me on stage. Here's a picture of me with a mustache, if that's what you want to call a mustache. I went for mass communication, which meant I had to take a drama class, as if I wasn't dramatic enough. All right, we've got DAngelo Wallace Twitter, which thankfully I'm not there anymore. Yay. DAngelo Wallace height. Here's a picture of me at VidCon. If I had to describe my height, I would say I'm taller than most commentary YouTubers, but not all of them. All right, we've got DAngelo Wallace weight loss, which is quite an interesting query because I don't know if people are looking for my video about Ozempic, in which I do mention weight loss, but this was more so a video essay on Hollywood's usage of Ozempic, or if people are looking for some sort of before and after because I have actually lost a lot of weight in my life. But either way, yeah, I used to be bigger. You could see it in videos or angles like this one, and now I'm smaller. I feel like people are probably looking for it because I never addressed it. But I mean, the way I see it, there's truly nothing to address. All right, so that's about the end of DAngelo Wallace searches. Let's go ahead and try is DAngelo Wallace. Oh, wow. Is DAngelo Wallace married? If I am, I have yet to find out about it. Is DAngelo Wallace okay? I'm okay right now, which is why I'm recording a video right now. My mental health tends to rise and fall, honestly, but I just record when I'm fine and I don't when I'm not, and it's averaged out to a video a day, so I must be doing something right. Is DAngelo Wallace autistic? I have never been diagnosed with autism. ADHD has given me some neurodevelopmental pizzazz that can overlap with traits shared by people who are autistic, but I am not. I like how the next search result is just, is DAngelo Wallace? Is he what? Is he... Oh, I'm scared. Is DAngelo alive? I sure hope it does. All right, now I want to try, does DAngelo Wallace? All right, so the top result is, does DAngelo Wallace have a speech impediment? And I mean, if I do, there's not much I can do about it. I try really hard to be understood in my videos because that's really all I can do. I worked hard, very hard on my diction actually. However, all of my videos have closed captioning. It's very important to me to add high quality captions to my videos as they come out. So if you are ever having problems, just wait a second and there will probably be a transcript by the end of the day. Does DAngelo Wallace still draw? This is of course a reference to the fact that I used to run an art channel, and then one day I decided, what if I just never posted art to the internet ever again? But yeah, I draw now. It's something I really love. I drew this. Can you see this? It's pretty dope, I think. I drew this one, that one. Sorry, I'm doing a horrible job. There's like this one, which I really like. This is very painful. Instead of putting it on the internet, I just put it on my body forever. Because really, what's the difference? Where does DAngelo Wallace live? Well, this is actually my first time saying this, but my location is technically no longer correct. So I was here, but I now live over here. Didn't think I would have to come out as a North Carolina resident in this video, but here we are. We've got what happened to DAngelo Wallace, a question I ask myself every day. I'm sure this gets typed out a lot during the periods where I take very long breaks from the internet, which, by the way, I know everyone's been getting used to the daily videos, but please don't forget that technically, I do not have a schedule. I told myself I'm just gonna stop posting daily content once it stops being fun, and annoyingly, I keep having fun. This is genuinely the happiest I've ever been with content. I don't know what it is about this era that I'm in, but I love the videos I'm creating. I love the way people are reacting to them. I'm generating really good conversations. I love seeing the different ways people enjoy my content. You know, some people are really active. Others are like, I'm just gonna put this on while I'm crocheting. I feel like I found my space. I feel like I know what I'm doing, I guess, and it feels really nice. That being said, I have all kinds of other content planned, which I should not tell you about just in case it winds up not happening, because again, I do be disappearing. Yeah, it's a habit. All right, so we've got, is DAngelo Wallace, does DAngelo Wallace, there's did DAngelo Wallace quit YouTube? I don't know that I will. You know what I mean? I feel like I don't know what would have to happen in my life to the point where I feel comfortable quitting YouTube. Even if I took a 10-year break and I went and did something else in my life, I love creating videos. I don't think I'll ever properly explain it, but the fact that I can sit here and do this has never actually felt real to me. And so I can't not do this. Does that make sense? I created videos before YouTube was a thing, honestly. I've always wanted to do this, even when the job itself didn't exist yet. But who knows? Nothing lasts forever. Maybe YouTube will go the way of MySpace. All right, I'm running out of things to put before DAngelo Wallace, as if I've ever really put anything before myself. I'm just gonna start putting random letters. DAngelo Wallace, allegations. Yeah. Huh? Oh, okay. I don't think people are talking about allegations against me. I think they're talking about me talking about allegations. Oh, buddy. DAngelo Wallace accent. I would describe my accent as American, honestly. I grew up in Texas. I lived there for 20 years straight, but not everybody in Texas sounds like they're from Texas. You know what I mean? We've got DAngelo Wallace and Cody Ko. Ew. We've got DAngelo Wallace and Andrew Tate. Ew. We've got DAngelo Wallace and Dave. Yes, Dave. Dave actually deserves the spotlight. For those of you who may not know, I mentioned Dave in almost every video. He is my partner in crime, my right-hand man, literally. Well, no, I think technically he's on my left. This is Dave, the man himself. I really feel like he was the greatest addition to my current YouTube set. Someone who looks beautiful and says nothing. All right, we've got DAngelo Wallace birthday. I was born on August 29th. DAngelo Wallace boyfriend. I don't have one of those. I've been one of those. Not a bad gig, honestly. All right, for DAngelo Wallace C, DAngelo Wallace net worth comes up, despite that not having a C in net worth. So according to Sports Keto Wiki, my net worth is $2 million according to multiple sources. Really? Like who? He probably earns a significant amount of ad money from both his channels. In addition to t-shirts and other items, he sells a variety of products in his merch store. Actually, I don't have a merch store anymore. Wallace also gets money by telling his audience about sponsors and products. You may have noticed that none of these videos have been sponsored, actually. I've uploaded like 50 or 55 videos in a row to this channel with no sponsorships. I'm definitely getting offers, but I don't know. Again, the point is to have fun. Sponsors can be fun, but you know what's more fun? Leaving big companies on red for no reason. I don't know why I do that. I should probably stop. This website also talks about my spending habits, or at least it tries to. Wallace does not share much information about himself with his followers and keeps details about his personal life out of the eye of the public, including private expenditures. I guess one could describe me as a private person, yeah. This other website says my net worth is $200K, or I may make closer to $93,000 a year. Let's just go with between $90,000 a year and net worth of $2 million. The truth lies somewhere in that spectrum, I'm sure. I wish it was a bit closer to the 2 million side of the spectrum, but you know what? We're grinding, married to the game. All right, we've got DAngelo Wallace dating. Ooh, does anyone know of DAngelo's sexuality? Been wondering for a while, asks this person. We don't know and we shouldn't, else he tells us. And this person just says, shut up. I don't know and that's none of my business, but this person says it doesn't hurt to be curious. Sometimes I wonder if people want to dress more feminine and are still straight, or if it's a way to come out, or if it's a slow transition into another gender. I like that he's not telling everyone his sexuality, because it really feels like he's not making a new persona or making his sexuality his personality. Bro, okay, hold on a second. First of all, if I did tell everyone my sexuality, that still wouldn't make it a new persona, because it would have been the same thing it always was, and it also wouldn't make it my personality. But anyway, this person says it will haunt me until he says it. And so I say, remain haunted. Random stranger, remain haunted. Is DAngelo Wallace gay? This reminds me of that one headline about Bruno Mars. The rumor come out. Does Bruno Mars is gay? I understand though. Some men just have too much swagger. You feel like there has to be an explanation. I feel you, Bruno. I feel you. All right, we've got DAngelo Wallace feminine. I personally feel like feminine is a word that other people use to describe me. Those are problems for everyone else to figure out, not me. I like being pretty. I like taking things that are shiny and placing them on myself. I like bright colors because I have yet to meet a color I didn't look good in. The way I see it, when I'm shopping for clothes, getting dressed in the morning, etc., gender is like the last thing I'm thinking about. I feel like life is too short to exclusively shop in the men's section. And that's my opinion on DAngelo Wallace feminine. All right, we've got DAngelo Wallace husband. I also don't have one of those. I have been one of those though. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. DAngelo Wallace high school. I was homeschooled. DAngelo Wallace house. Don't have one of those, but they are fun. I hate DAngelo Wallace. Honestly, valid. All right, age, degree, wife. I think they're getting repetitive. DAngelo Wallace MBTI. Which MBTI type would DAngelo Wallace be? Someone said I took the test and got ISFJ. Did I do that? A lot of people are saying int J, and I think that's what I've gotten. I think int J is possible. This person thinks int J. Yeah, I'm gonna go with int J, and if that sounds wrong, you tell me. We've got DAngelo Wallace plastic surgery. The idea of me getting plastic surgery sends me because, like, bro, what is there to fix? Look at the material. But you know, one day I will get older. That being said, I don't really think age detracts from beauty in any way, so I probably still will not do anything about it. I'm actually still kind of sad over the passing of Maggie Smith. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm very sad. Downton Abbey queen. But like, Dame Maggie Smith was a baddie, respectfully, and she continued to be a baddie. Period. So the way I see it, I don't really want plastic surgery for myself, but I'm also not somebody who sees it as like this horrible, awful thing that people do. Celebrities lying about plastic surgery and setting dangerous precedents is insane, and I wish that would stop. We've got DAngelo Wallace spouse. Man, y'all have tried husband, wife, boyfriend, spouse. DAngelo Wallace tattoos. Maybe someday I'll make a better video where you can see them more clearly. I don't know. Does anybody care about that? Let me know. All right, we're almost to the end of the alphabet now. See, we've got X, Y, and Z. Nothing for Z. So yeah, that's what people want to know. I hope that cleared some things up. I mean, funnily enough, I don't really think I revealed anything about myself in this video, other than the fact that I live in North Carolina. So maybe I am a private person, who knows? But that's my take on me. Dave's take is that this video should have been about him because he's had a far more interesting life, which honestly, I can't disagree with. But I'm of course excited to hear your take. I mean, this is the part of the video where a layman would ask you to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment, but I will ask you to enroll, evaluate the video, and submit your feedback. Because I am, of course, running a 100% completely, totally, all the way, okay, maybe not really, somewhat unaccredited university. Probably. Just ask anybody in the student body and we'll confirm it for you. We're totally legit. And as for me, whether you'll see me in 24 hours or 24 months is honestly anyone's guess. But until then, thanks for watching. Your homework for today is to Google yourself. Make sure there's nothing weird going on.